First things first, we're going to go ahead and log into our Kali machine. You know the username. You know the password. Obviously, I don't. Let me get that right. I still don't know the password. Hopefully that worked. Let's get it. Alright, so we're going to be using a bunch of different reconnaissance tools. Some of these tools are going to be open source, meaning they're publicly available. The first thing we're going to do is go ahead and get our IP address. Using the IPA command, we can see our IP address right there. That is 203.0.113.66. Again, y'all, if these videos are moving fast, that is actually what we are planning to do, is to speed the flow of the videos up. All you have to do to slow it down is use the feature on YouTube to slow down the time, right? You can slow down the time speed, you can slow down the speed of the time so that it is not moving as fast for you. But our goal is to move swiftly through these videos so that they're not long. Some of these videos, unfortunately, the lab is almost 2 hours itself. So some of these videos will be about 30 minutes, which is pretty long time. All right, so let's go ahead and get down to it. If you need to slow it down, just use that feature on YouTube to slow it down. All right, so we have our IP address. Now what we're gonna do is ping www.structurereality.com. We're gonna ping it 4 times. Make sure that you're typing this in the right way. Info.txt. What I'm gonna do is actually copy this. Alright, go ahead and do that. That's gonna go ahead and ping structurereality.com 4 times, and it's gonna save that output into a file called target_info.txt. Alright, if we scroll down, let's go ahead and take a look at that file. Right, we can see that we got some data, but look, nothing responded back to our ping request. That's fine, okay? That is fine. Go ahead and score that, get your score. Next, we're gonna go to the website in our web browser. The same website we just tried to ping, let's try to visit it on our web browser. Alright, cool. So the website is up and running. It looks like it's just not accepting ping requests. That is fine. Alright, we're just doing reconnaissance on this website right now, structurereality.com. We're gonna do some more reconnaissance. But so far, what have we learned? We learned that it's not accepting ping requests, right? That ping is probably being blocked at the firewall. Also, that the website is online. We got some information about the website that we can go ahead and take notes of. The email address we can use to send phishing emails. Phone number we can use for phishing attacks. And we have a location. Maybe you want to visit the location. Hey, go ahead, take a nice little vacation over there. Alright, we're going to go to the next section, which is another tool called Who Is. Who is a pretty cool tool. You can use it on a command line. You can also go to the website. We're going to do it from the command line. Who is going to give us information about a domain. So we're going to get some more information about this domain called Structure Reality. Just go ahead and type this in. Oh yeah, that's not working out. I'm just gonna have to type it, structurereality.com, and we're gonna put this inside a target. Target who is.txt. Alright, you can take a look at that file, and we're getting a whole bunch of information about that website, right? We get the registry, domain number, the registrar, that's who's setting up that domain. We can see the date that it was registered, we can see that it's active, and we even get some domain information, DNS information, the name server. All right, this is the name server that's resolving their IPs. All right, let's scroll down. Who was the registrar? We just saw that. what was it, 515 web? Yes, 515 web. Go ahead and score that. We're going to go to the next section. Now we're going to do some DNS reconnaissance, right? Some DNS recon. We just did some recon on the domain. We did some recon on the website itself. We tried to ping it, right? Why are we going to domain tools now? DNS tools? Because we got some information about this name server. So let's see what else they're publicly showing, right? All right, so I'm going to clear my screen, and we're going to go into the NSLookup interactive session. Just type in NSLookup, type server, so we can check out our domain server. All right, this is our DNS server that we will be using. This is our default server right here. Do they want us to type that in anywhere? No. Sweet. So the default server is .226. This is our DNS server for our system. Alright, now we want to go ahead and look at some information about www.structurereality.com. Alright, their IP resolves back to .1. Right, their IP address for that domain for this website, website right here comes back to .1, 203.0.113.1. All right, now let's go ahead and see if we can resolve the name server. Let's see if we can get an IP address for this guy. Structure SCRUCTUREALITY. Did I type that right? I'm gonna do it one more time. ns.structurereality.com. Alright, cool. We get an IP address back of 225. Right, so that is gonna be 203.0.113.225. Go ahead and score that. Boom. Alright, let's go ahead and set our domain, our DNS server to be that 203.0.113.225. By doing this, when we do any NSLookup commands now, we're gonna get a response back from this DNS server, right? This DNS server, their name server, structurereality.com, ns.structurereality.com. Before anytime we were using NSLookup and we were querying for DNS information, we were asking our DNS server. Now we're gonna ask Structure Reality's DNS server for DNS information. So now, next thing we're gonna do, let's now type in structurereality.com. Okay, good. We're still getting some information, but now it's authorized from an authorized DNS server, right? We're not getting non-authoritative answers. We're not getting non-authoritative answers anymore. We're getting authoritative answers. Why? Because we are using their DNS server, right? Their DNS server is authorized to give out their information. All right, cool. So now we're gonna just do we're gonna look at some other DNS records. So we're gonna go through these. First, we're gonna get the names. We're gonna look for name service records, NS records. Type that, then we're gonna type in structure. I'm just gonna go up instead of typing this over and over. All right, cool. We can see the name server. We already know what that name server is. We're gonna look at the mail exchange. Right, we already got this information from the name server. We know that. Cool. We're gonna go ahead and get some MX records. Right, same thing. We want to get MX records or mail exchange records of structurereality.com. Here's their mail exchange server. Boom. What's the next record we want to get? A records. A records is the IP address, specifically the IPv4 address. Same thing, we want to get the A record for structurereality.com. We already know what it is. It's entered in .1, but we're just doing it again just to run through these DNS tools. All right, next we want to get the CNAME records. Type the CNAME. Same thing of structurereality.com, but actually we're going to do it for a website. .structurereality.com. The CNAME should point back to to the main domain, which is www.structurereality.com. This is the C name, right? This C name is pointing back to the main domain. That's what we want to see, right? The C name is, we use C names for subdomains. Website.structurereality.com is a subdomain to www.structurereality.com. All right, now we're going to get the SOA records for the same thing, structurereality.com. Okay, we're getting all this SOA records, right? These are admin records for structurereality.com. Make sure yours lines up with this. All right, well, it may not line up word for word or number for number, but that's okay, right? As long as you're getting this SOA record, that is fine. All right, cool. Now we're going to do the same thing with the dig tool, exits. We're going to do the same thing with the dig tool. All right, we did a lot of this already in another lab, so this should all be familiar to most of us. So we're going to go ahead and dig 203.1.0.113.225 structurereality.com, and we're going to put that information inside of target_DNS.txt. This is the same thing we were doing with NSLookup when we set our names, when we set our DNS server to their DNS server. Right, we're using dig to set their DNS server. This is the DNS server we want to query. This is the DNS server we want to talk to, and we want to query it for structurereality.com. We're going to save that inside of this file, target_DNS.txt. Right, you can take a look at that file, and we get a bunch of information, the same information we got from NSLookup, right? This A record, CO3.0.113.1. All right, next, we're going to do some more dig commands. We're going to do the same thing that we did with NSLookup. All right, this time, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add to this file, though. We're going to add to the target_DNS.txt file. But don't forget, we're going to add to this file, and we're going to do a query on www.structurereality.com. Okay. We're going to keep going. We're going to do, for the next one, we're going to remove the www, and we're going to set the record type to their mail exchange server. And we're going to add it to the same file. So we're doing this. Hey, we're going to ask dig, hey, we want you to query this DNS server right here. This DNS server, we want you to query for this domain, structurereality.com. We want to get the mail exchange record. That's the type of record we want to get, T for type. And we want to save that output. We want to add that to this file. Boom, it's going to add that. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to switch the record to the name server record, NS record. Boom, it's going to add that to that file. We are going to, all right, and that is it. So let's go ahead and open up that file now. Cat target DNS.txt. We can see the A record. We can see the mail exchange record. Right, all the records that we were looking at, it is stored inside of this file. Right, the name record, the NS record, which is right here, NS record, and the MX record, the mail exchange record. It's all stored inside of this file. The same thing we were doing with NSLookup, we just wanted to get the hands-on experience with dig as well. All right, we're gonna go to the next section. The next section is pretty cool. We're gonna be using some Google dorking techniques. Right, for this, we need to open up our own browser on our system. So I'm gonna go ahead and split these instructions off. And I'm gonna bring up a browser over here. What are Google dorking techniques? Well, we're about to find out. We played around with it a little bit before. We're gonna play around with it again. We're gonna go to google.com. Right, and now we're gonna type this string inside of google.com. What is this string doing? It's looking for any site that matches twitter.com, and we're looking for the file type file type TXT. Alright, so we're asking Google, hey, return everything from twitter.com that has a file type of TXT and robot. Right, so we're looking for twitter.com's robot.txt. Right, the robot.txt is a pretty cool file. Most websites have it to try to prevent website crawlers, to let you know what you are allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do, right? What user agents are allowed. Pretty cool tool. Robots.txt is not an uncommon thing. Most websites do have these to give instructions primarily for web crawlers, right? So you're not just crawling everything on the site. All right, we're going back to google.com. We're going to use some more Google Dork techniques. Right, Google Dork is just special syntaxes to query Google's indexes. All the data in google.com is stored in an index. Think of the index like a bucket. Right, so now we're looking for titles that have the word password in it, and specifically sites that have linkedin.com. If we hit enter, we can see a whole bunch of password related links for linkedin.com. You're not going to see any other website here. Why? Because we're limiting this search to linkedin.com. All right, let's check another Google Dork. All right, this one right here, what is it doing? We're looking for CFG file types that have this phrase, enable password 7. All right, we're getting some stuff right here for Opus 1. They probably have some passwords in this file that we could try to compromise, but we're gonna keep moving along. All right, next, we're gonna go to this website right here. This is a password cracking website, Cisco Password Cracker. All right, we're gonna try to crack a password. Right, the same password that was actually in that configuration file right here. All right, if you open up this configuration file, there's a bunch of stuff in here, but look at this password. All right, this is the same password we're gonna try and crack. Right, how do we find this file? We use some Google Dorking techniques. We said, hey Google, we want to find all file types all CFG file types that have enable password 7. Right, and we open that up, and this password was in there, right? This hash, right? We can try to crack that. We're gonna try to crack that with this Cisco Password Cracker. Let's see if this is right. Boom, 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 boom. Good job, good job, good job. Let's go back to Google. We're gonna go back to Google and do some more playing around with the search. Let's search for blue suede shoes. All right, blue suede shoes, blue suede shoes. Look, we have over 120 million results for blue suede shoes. Let's be a little bit more specific with some Google Dorking techniques, right? A simple technique. Enclose it in quotations. Right now, we come down to only a little bit over 2 million. Well, a little bit under 3 million instead of 120 million, right? Simple syntaxes like this can narrow down our search results. Right? We can even do more, right? Most of you don't even know there's an advanced search setting over here for Google. Let's go to quick settings and let's hit advanced search. Right? We can do more with Google. Here are a bunch of different things that we can use to filter out the results. Right? So what we're going to do, all these words right here, in all these words input box, we're going to put pants and shirts. Right? And then none of these words, we're going to put purple, red. Okay? And the numbers ranging from, we're going to do 10 to 189. Now let's search that by just clicking advanced search. Right, look, now we only have 27,000 results. 27,000 results. What are we doing here, y'all? We are doing reconnaissance. Recon. We are utilizing different reconnaissance tools. Google is one of the most popular tools that we can use for recon. Right? Google has a lot of information on it. We just have to know how to interact with Google to get the information we want. That's the whole point of Google Dorking techniques. We can filter out specific files, specific titles, specific phrases using the right Google dorking techniques, right? And there are a bunch of Google dorking techniques out there. I'm pretty sure you can just Google it. And there are a bunch of cheat sheets out there. There are a bunch of different stuff out there. It's not hidden information. This is not information that's hidden from the public. It's publicly available information. It's good to use. All right, let's go to the next section. We're going to use some more open source information or open source information tools. So we're going to go to netcraft.com, which is a pretty cool tool. This is very similar to Whois. All right, remember we use Whois from the command line to get some domain information about CompTIA.org. We can also use netcraft to get information about other domains. All right, let's just scroll to the bottom. Right now it says we can analyze a certain domain. Let's see what domain they want us to analyze. It's going to be http CompTIA.org. So let's go ahead and analyze that. Let's see what netcraft gives us. Right, usually when I'm doing pen testing jobs, I am going to use netcraft on the domain to get more information about it. Right, look, we have the domain, the name server right here, the domain registrar. We can see the country. It's a lot of information here. The IPv4 addresses. Okay, we can, whether it's encrypted or not. There's so much information here. All right, what do the instructions want? What is the date? First seen value right here, January 1996. This is the date that CompTIA.org was first seen. That's actually not so long ago. We're in 2023 right now. All right, in the networking section right here, let's go ahead and click CompTIA.org. I'm going to well, this one. I'm going to open this up in another tab. All right, you want to click this one. I'm going to open this up in another tab, and we can see some subdomains that belong to CompTIA. If we were attacking this, we have other subdomains to attack, to include in our targeting, to include in our attack. We're getting this information from reconnaissance. This is the whole point of the recon phase, is to gather as much information about your target. We started off by pinging our target, right? We were trying to see if it would respond to pings. It didn't. We went to the website. We looked at the website. We gathered information from the website. Then we took the domain and we used the domain to grab more information about it from Whois, right? Whois also has a website called who.is, right? You can use this or you can use the command line tool that we use. Right, we just gathered some more information using netcraft. We're doing recon. Recon is all about gathering information about your target. You want to gather as much information as about your target as you can. All right, now let's say if we wanted to gather information about a person, we can go to pq.com. Right, we can just go ahead and search for people in here. All right, let's look for Elvis. We're going to search Elvis' first name. Last name, Presley, states, let's go to Tennessee. Right, we can see there are a bunch of different results for Elvis. Right, now that's fine. Okay, if you knew somebody in particular that you wanted to search, you can go ahead and search them in here. You can get some information about them. Right? If we wanted to get some information about systems that are publicly available, here's a website called searchsystems.net. Right? What we can do here is search for different systems. Let's go ahead and let's select a state. I'm just going to put Alabama and look at the different information we can grab. So search systems is a public database, right? It's a public database, not just about system information, right? It's public information, criminal records, court records, licenses, property ownership. Is public information, right? It's not to, I was incorrect earlier. I said we could I actually had a tongue twister, right? Search systems. You're not searching in this database for different systems. You're searching in this database for publicly available information. This is all publicly available information. You can get licenses, court records, property ownership, marriages and divorces, and tax records, right? All of that we can find here in order to do proper reconnaissance. If you know somebody, you want to get information about them, you're trying to send them a spear phishing attack, maybe it would be a good idea to come over here to get some more information about them to make your spear phishing attack more accurate. All right, so let's go back to home. We're going to go back to home. We're going to switch this right here to nationwide. We want nationwide public records. And we can switch this option to most wanted. And this is going to give us a list of links of most wanted information, or most wanted people, most wanted things that the FBI is on the lookout for, right? This is another way to do open source information. All of this is geared towards the same goal. You're trying to gather as much information about your target, right? Not just simple domain name information, querying the DNS tools, whether it's NSLOOKUP or DIG. Not just simply going to who.is. We want to exhaust all of our resources when it comes to gathering information about our target. You can never have too much information. Well, I take that back. You can sometimes, right? But you still want to gather as much. You want to gather email addresses, IP addresses, subdomains, domains, people, their information, maybe their social media accounts. We can use Google Dorking to find a lot of this open source information, right? OSINT stands for open source information. All right, questions. What are the tools NSLOOKUP and DIG used for? Searching DNS records. What is the tool WHOIS used for? Searching domain registration records. What options in DIGs let you return? That's going to be T. The WHOIS tool can provide which of the following information and domain? All of that. If no response is received when pinging a fully qualified domain name, that's what FQDN stands for, fully qualified domain name. This indicates what? The site may be in a foreign language, the site is running Windows, the site may be behind a firewall. Right? When we tried to ping structuredreality.com, we couldn't, right? That's probably because the website was behind a firewall. Y'all, if y'all enjoyed this series, please make sure it says a question is pending. Question is pending in the primary window. Yes. Alright, y'all, if you enjoyed this series, please make sure you're smashing the like button. Please make sure you subscribe to our channel for future content. Don't